Coming up next, from San Fran Freak Show, The Savage Nation. From Talk 910 KNEW.
The Savage Nation.
He has it all covered.
Weekday afternoons 3 to 7. Talk 910 KNEW. Warning. The Michael Savage Show contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation. Here is Michael Savage.
What's on michaelsavage.com. I mean, this is still a big story to me. The emails released by the British government, by the way, I'm still banned. The emails released in their correspondence inside the government reveal that I was banned, not for anything I had done, but because they wanted to, quote, balance Muslims on the list. You can't believe this, but that's what they did. They took an innocent man and they tarred him simply to balance out the number of Muslim terrorists they wanted banned from England. Now, you know, this is thought control. This is scapegoating. This is prejudice. This is everything the West stands against. And yet, Fox News refuses to cover this story. We wouldn't expect CNN to cover it. We know that they're the biased haters on the left. We understand that CNN shouldn't cover it, and NBC, ABC, CBS. We know what to expect of them and what not to expect. But wouldn't you think Fox would want to cover a thing like this? Well, you might. I wouldn't. Wife says terror suspect part of an ordinary family. Oh, yeah. 7 plotted a violent jihad against America. And guess what? They're just ordinary folk, according to that article on michaelsavage.com. Most important article today is from the Washington Post by Robert Samuelson, liberal, says, Obama's misleading medicine. He says, President Obama's claims are self-serving exaggerations and political fantasies. They have destroyed what should be a serious national discussion of health care. In other words, Obama's a liar. Hello. From Andrew Breitbart, we have an interesting article, Obama's accidental gift on race. Take a look at it. Read it on michaelsavage.com. From the Palm Beach Post, a Florida neurosurgeon has been forced to resign from his post with the County Medical Association after forwarding an email with an image portraying President Obama as a witch doctor. A neurosurgeon loses his job for sending an email showing the president with a bone in his nose? It may not be pretty, but what happened to freedom of speech, ladies and gentlemen, and particularly you vermin on the left? From the London Guardian, we realize that the supine American government is prepared to open talks with the Taliban. How do you like that? How do you like that? The Obama administration is on its hands and knees to all of the world's worst people. And from the border with Mexico, 4 men suspected in involvement in killing a U.S. Border Patrol agent were arrested. They are all immigrant smugglers. They're all Mexican. I know they all come here to work, but I guess some of them come here to kill, murder, steal, counterfeit, rape, pillage, drive drunk. We're not supposed to notice that. Don't forget to look at the article by Lynn Sweet on michaelsavage.com, where she says that she looks around the room at the White House. She knows the faces. She said this all-Chicago gang could be huddling in Mayor Daley City Hall. And she said the White House has become Chicago's 51st ward. And you thought it was about change. Another article, born in Fontainebleau Hotel, died in Hilton Hotel, Associated Press. Interesting story. I couldn't stop reading it. Ben Novak Jr. grew up in the penthouse of Miami Beach's famous Fontainebleau Hotel, pampered by the staff, patted on the head by the likes of Frank Sinatra and Bob Hope, and whisked off to school in a limousine. Now, that's the beginning of the story. It was a tumultuous life he had, right up until Sunday when his wife found the 53-year-old heir beaten to death in the Hilton Hotel in the upscale New York suburb of Rye Brook at the end of a convention he had organized. Now, if you read the story, It's certainly worthy of a novel. It'll be a great movie, and I don't have time to go into it. But look at the story. Born in the Fontainebleau Hotel, died in Hilton Hotel. So the guy grows up. His father builds the Fontainebleau Hotel, right? It's opened in 1954. Big, famous monster hotel in Miami Beach. The father runs the hotel until he files for bankruptcy in, I think, 1978. I can't find it in the article. Something around 78. The end of an era. Just when the Catskill Mountains died, that's when the Miami Beach scene, in that regard, died. You know, the big type of splashy hotel died. Father declares bankruptcy. He built the Fontainebleau in 54, ran it until he filed for bankruptcy in 1977. Celebrity playpen in the 50s, been used in such Hollywood films such as Goldfinger and Scarface. So the kid grows up, spoiled rich kid, but never achieved anything in his life. Him and his wife, meantime, fighting over money, it seems, on and off. He's found beaten to death with a blunt object. His wife is the only person who had a card to his room, and police say that she is not a suspect. Oh, that's interesting. Investigators from New York are in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where the Novaks lived in a gated community. Now, if you look back into this story, it gets crazier. It gets crazier by the day. This guy, who never amounted to jack, the guy who was beaten to death, the son, the rich guy, apparently his father was a real, the guy who built everything up. Ben Novak Sr. divorced his wife in 1968 and died in 1985 at age 78. A week after his son asked the Miami judge to find his father mentally incompetent to handle his finances. So the father dies a week after this guy tries to get a judge in Miami to find his father mentally incompetent to grab the money. The mother, Bernice, died a bloody death 3 months ago at age 86. This guy found her face down in a pool of blood in the laundry room of her home in Fort Lauderdale. Her skull fractured and her jaw broken. Police show. An autopsy found her death was an accident. I wonder what cop got paid off to write that up. How could a woman 86 die of a skull fracture and a broken jaw in a laundry room, and cops in Fort Lauderdale declare that to be an accident? It's all about money to anybody watching this story. Now, I don't know. There's nothing to talk about here. Life's hotel, life's journey from hotel to hotel ends in mystery, the Fontainebleau Hotel. The only people who can call on this particular topic, the Fontainebleau Hotel, that period of time, would be my relatives and my friends. And since I don't speak to any of my relatives, and I have no friends, we may as well go on to hard news on the Savage Nation. Jimmy in Houston is next up. Go ahead, please.
Hello. You were talking about the Fontainebleau. When I was 12 years old, I went to Florida with family, and that Art Deco, we were all riding around, and we ate dinner there at the Fontainebleau, and I was 12 years old. The first time I ever ate cordon bleu, and this guy came walking out. I think they gambled in the back, and they said, "That's Jackie Gleason." And he walked over, and we shook his hand. And then this other guy came out, and it was William Boyd. I said, and we shook his hand. I said, "What's going on here?" And, I was kind of impressed at 12 years old to shake Hopalong Cassidy's hand. And the waiter, the garçon, was holding up 5 $100 bills in his hand. He said, Jackie left him a $500 tip, and he said that's the second time he had done that. And
Isn't that amazing? $500 today is a fortune, but what would it be today? $5 grand?
That was in 1956.
56, so figure 20 times that, it would be $10,000.
Yeah, but that's a true story. And the waiter said that he left him a $500 tip the other time he was in there.
Wow. I think there was a story that Jackie Gleason gave gargantuan tips all the time.
Well, I don't know. I just experienced that.
You know what? With Obama's taxation, we should start leaving tips like that, all of us. I'd rather give it to a waiter than to give it to these rats in the Democrat Party to take and spend any way they want. I say to everyone listening to the show, spend as much as you can, as fast as you can. Don't save a nickel because the government's only going to take it from you and spend it on something you didn't ask for. Spend your money now. With the coming communism, you may as well enjoy it. That's it for MichaelSavage.com.
No one else can say it that clear and that precise. And he is passionate, of course.
The Savage Nation, weekday afternoons 3 to 7. Talk 910, KNEW.
All of the big libs, all the Gonuffs, the bigger the Gonuff, the bigger the house on Martha's Vineyard. The bigger the banking crook, the larger the home on Martha's Vineyard.